Vestergaard. Vestergaard's got space to move into. Finds it further down the line for Christiansen by the touchline. Goes back to Vestergaard, but has made the way inside of Slovenia's half. Pass back onto the right-hand side for Christiansen again. Now back into the middle for Joachim Andersen. Now Christiansen switches it onto the left-hand side for a run of Christiansen by the corner flag. He's just managed to keep that in play with assistance from the corner flag as well. Brings it in onto his right foot. Passes it to Eriksson on the edge of the area. Into space at the moment. A chance for Denmark. Ball into the box has been cleared by Biol. Only as far as the edge of the area. It's brought down again though by Hjulmand. Onto the right-hand side. Cross goes in from Andersen. It's been blocked. And Slovenia will clear the lines up towards the halfway line, but only for a moment as Denmark get the ball back. Onto the left-hand side again now for Christiansen. Pass inside towards Højbjerg. Been dispossessed, but it's gone back through now to Andersen. Still inside Slovenia's half. Pass onto the right-hand side for Bar. Cross goes in, headed away by Biol. Into the midfield area. It's going to be Elsnik that tries to close this down, but Eriksson gets the ball back. Has space to move into, now does Højbjerg. Onto the left-hand side for Christiansen again, just outside the area. Christian's pass back inside, quick 1-2 between him and Christian Eriksson. Plays the ball this time to Hjulmand. Hjulmand tries to thread the ball through for Rasmus Højlund, but again Slovenia on hand defensively to clear their lines. It's punted back upfield, but again Denmark bring the ball down just inside their own half. And we will just have a break in play as the referee's just checking on Rasmus Højlund. I think he was chasing through for the ball. He's lost his boot in the process. Tried to get there, but he's got a bit of a nick from Durkasic on his way through, and he's lost his boot. Not quite sure if there's anything in that, in my opinion. He has had the back of his foot stood on, and I know they can come keen, but I don't think it was anything intentional for Durkasic, and I think the idea to give a penalty should be waved away immediately. And it has done. So we are going to have a drop ball for Denmark just inside their own half, and it's given straight to Vestergaard. Pass inside to Hjulmand. Now back to Christiansen again. Onto the left-hand side for Vestergaard. Denmark still with possession just inside their own half. Defensively passing the ball about. Onto the right-hand side now for Joachim Andersen. Now into the opposition half. Back to Andersen again. Across to Christiansen. Up towards the halfway line. Takes it into the centre circle inside his own half. Finds in space Bar. Well, by the touchline goes back again to Andersen. Denmark just holding on to possession. Forcing Slovenia to try and remain compact defensively, but they are struggling as the challenge goes in this time from Elsnik, and it's out of play for a throw-in on the right-hand side. And Denmark take this from Andersen, back to Christiansen again. Still inside Slovenia's half, pass across to Vestergaard. Inside the centre circle, Vestergaard just holds on to possession. He was expecting some sort of pressure from Sporar, but he's used a bit more of a weight approach, hoping that Denmark just hold on to possession, not able to make any sort of lengthways into Slovenia's half, but now there's a chance for them on the break. Højlund lays the ball off. Now with Højbjerg onto the left-hand side for Christiansen. Utilising the width at the moment are Denmark. Pass inside to Christian Eriksson, chipped over towards Højlund, headed away though by Durkasic. Going to be chased down on that right-hand side. The slide tackle keeps the ball in play, but it's fallen back to Christiansen again. His pass short to Højbjerg. Gives this to Christian Eriksson. Pass across again now to Hjulmand. And back to Eriksson. Back towards the halfway line, and Vestergaard gets the ball back. Denmark just trying to find those little gaps in the Slovenian defence at the moment, but as much as Slovenia are managing to stop those attacks, they're also not able to keep hold of possession, and it's just inviting Denmark to try and create another sort of attack. This time the ball goes up towards midfield. Out onto the right-hand side for Korniknik. Takes the ball into Denmark's half, and a chance now for a bit of a break for Slovenia. Cross goes into the box. It'll be dealt with though by Joachim Andersen. Onto the left-hand side for Vestergaard. He's got space to move into and a chance for perhaps a counter-attack now for Denmark. Tackle comes in this time for Korniknik and wins the ball back for his side. Only for a split second as Eriksson then goes in for a 50-50 challenge and wins a free kick just inside his own half for Denmark by the touchline on the left-hand side. Fast-paced football for both sides just for a minute there as Slovenia were starting to create a counter-attack themselves. Denmark tried to respond with a fast-paced attack of their own with no success. In their own half at the moment, Denmark with the pass to Vestergaard. Takes it up towards the halfway line, passing to the centre circle now for Christiansen. Christian passes the ball to Hjulmand, but has to go back and receive the ball very quickly. This time the chip ball comes over from Vestergaard in space into the box. We've got an opportunity for Denmark at the moment. It has fallen for Vind. Effort this time has been blocked. It looked like he was through on goal at the time as well. Now the flag's going to go up. You've got to wait till the end of that spell of play. But the chip ball over the top for him to chase on that right-hand side. It was well placed, an excellent ball across. Just looking at the replay, very, very close. I'm not quite sure if VAR would have had something to say about that. His first touch dragged the ball away from him, and it made it very difficult for him, for Vind. And then Biol came across and closed down the angle, and it forced the shot that came from Vind into a block from too much of an angle on the right-hand side. But he was through on goal if that was a good first touch, and it would have left VAR with a question to answer. Free kick goes upfield by Oblak. Defensively, Denmark have cleared the lines again, and Vind tries to get there. It's headed onto the left-hand side now for Janse. Malakar's down the line, passed inside for Elsnik. Elsnik for Serin. Serin now with a chance to break for Slovenia. Tries to dribble it past Christiansen. The tackle goes in, and it's back onto the right-hand side now for Karniknik. Slovenia still in possession inside Denmark's half at the moment. Passes it for Serin. Serin takes it up to the edge of the area and lays off Karniknik and gets the ball back. Denmark now behind the ball in numbers. This pass goes sideways to Elsnik, goes back to Biol, and then onto the left-hand side for Janse. Janse's cross goes in towards the back post, but it's going to be too heavy, and it's out of play for a goal kick for Denmark. Just a little spell from Slovenia of possession, where they're just reminding Denmark they are still there. Denmark have had the lion's share in the opening 7 minutes of this game. If you are late joining us here from the MHP Arena in Stuttgart, we've got the opening game of Group C between Slovenia and Denmark. We are currently goalless as it stands. Just after the 7.5 minute mark, as Kasper Schmeichel's goal kick was all the way upfield in the direction of Højlund. Kicked away though by Biol, brought down in the middle of the park by Elsnik, onto the left hand side for Janse. Janse just keeps this in play, goes with the pass though in search of Sesko. Dispossessed again though by Andersen, and onto the left hand side for Vestergaard. Vestergaard gives the ball to Christiansen and gets the ball back just outside the centre circle inside his own half. Short option is Hjulmand. Now across to Christiansen again. Christian's pass inside for Højbjerg. Højbjerg holds the ball up, gives it to Vind on the left hand side, pass back inside this time, gives it to Christian Eriksen on the edge of the area. Eriksen's got a chance to turn, plays the ball to Højlund on the edge of the area, puts it onto the right hand side, cross goes across the face of goal, and it's put out of play for a corner by Biol, and he had to be on hand as Bar was making an excellent run down that right hand side. It's lovely build up play by Denmark, very confident in the attacking phase as Christian Eriksen and Rasmus Højlund, who of course have that partnership from Manchester United together in the course of this season. Passes it onto the right hand side for Bar, and his cross across the face of goal. Looked like it was a good ball as well. Was blocked out of play for a corner, and Denmark get the first corner of the game. And it's on the right hand side, and it's an outswinging corner coming from Christian Eriksen towards the near post. Headed away by Janse. Nobody in the area of where he's headed it to though, and Denmark will regain possession at the halfway line. On the left hand side, Christian plays it back across to Andersen. As Denmark now start to regroup and regain their positions. We've also got Andre Christiansen just making his way back. He attacked forward for the set piece. Now across to Joachim Andersen. The attack of Denmark will have the work cut out for them throughout the course of this evening. A very strong Slovenian defence, supported by their captain and leader Jan Oblak, who during the qualification stages made more saves per shot on target than any other goalkeeper in the entire of the European Championships qualifying, having saved 76.9% of the shots he faced. Which says a lot about the chances that are created for other sides, but the confidence that Slovenia must have in the goalkeeper as well, as Vind wins a free kick from around about 25 yards out, a little bit on the left hand side. He's brought down to ground by Serin. And there's a chance now for Denmark in a very dangerous position. Standing over the ball is Pierre-Emil Højbjerg, and Christian Eriksen joins him as well. The referee is just going to count out the yards to allow Slovenia to get a wall in place. Only one man at the moment is what Jan Oblak's called for, but there are options in the box as well. All three centre-halves have gone forward. Andre Christiansen, Joachim Andersen and Jan Vestergaard are in the box as options. Højbjerg's left the free kick alone. It is Christian Eriksen stood over it. Cross goes in towards the middle, headed goalwards by Andersen, and it's just over, and it's going to be a goal kick now for Slovenia. But that height advantage that Denmark have was certainly being used at that point. It was a cross, it had to go from around about 25 yards out, maybe 30 yards out, he could only chip it to the edge of the area because there were so many players in a high line for Slovenia that Denmark was at risk of being caught offside. But it makes things in those dangerous positions very difficult for opposition to be able to get across into the box. Goal kick upfield, headed away by Christiansen into the middle of the park. Chance now for Denmark to break, but the referee's pulled it back for a free kick. A foul from Højbjerg there on Serin in the middle of the park. Needed to be a free kick because Denmark were in a very good goal scoring opportunity of the referee not blown his whistle. Pass out onto the right hand side for Karniknik. Passes it into the middle now for Stojanovic. Switches onto the left hand side. Malakar brings the ball down. He's got no players around him and he has a chance to get the ball back to his centre half Biol. Biol spreads this back onto the right hand side for Karniknik. Just inside Denmark's half at the moment. Slovenia have possession. Passes inside for Serin. Back into his own half for Drkšić. Drkšić might have to use his goalkeeper here. He has been forced all the way back to Jan Oblak as now Denmark start to move forward in force again. They've got a good strategy and a good setup, and they're quite disciplined with how they are approaching these closing down of Slovenian players. It's making things difficult for Slovenia to really create anything while they do have possession, as Oblak switches this onto the right hand side now for Karniknik. Ball down the line, goes in search of Sporar, headed away this time by Vestergaard, just kept in play, or was it? Flag has stayed down. It's a throw. It's Denmark that will carry on with possession as Vestergaard goes back into the middle now for Christiansen. Onto the right hand side for Andersen. Quite a compact centre-back three. It's meaning Barr and Christiansen on either wing are having to work almost as if they are box-to-box players. There's a lot of width in this Denmark side. They are using these wing-backs as exactly what they are, and they are trying to utilise the chances to on either of the wings. Vestergaard gets the ball just inside his own half. Onto the left-hand side now for Christiansen. Christiansen finds that pass in the middle there for Hjulmand. He's found himself in space. Christiansen has continued the run down the left-hand side. Dribbles it inside one, just on the edge of the area. Dribbles it inside two. Puts it onto his right foot. Can't get the cross away. Has to go back onto his left foot. Dribbles it back down the line. Pass inside this time. Goes to Hjulmand, who plays it back and gets the ball back on the edge of the area. Threads it through this time to be chased down by Vind, but he seemed to stop and stutter in his step. And it's watched the ball out of play for a goal kick now for Slovenia. Christian Eriksen dropped that ball off there, and as the ball went through for Vind, not sure if he pulled anything in his calf at that point, but he seemed to just slow down where the ball could have been his. That's out from the back now for Oblak, onto the left hand side for Janse. Janse's ball down the line, headed back into dangerous territory, but it's put out of play by Biol. It's going to be a throw in now for Denmark, almost by the corner flag on the right hand side. Options are making their way forward in the middle. Hjulmand and Højbjerg, the midfield pairing, lurking on the edge of the area. Christiansen's found himself free at the back post if the ball can get across to him. Barr's going to take the throw in, goes in towards Vind, flicks this on, still around the penalty area, headed away towards the back post, ball back into the box, but it's watched all the way through to Jan Oblak. And it was Christiansen at the back post that made himself a nuisance and managed to get the ball into the box, and it was being chased down by Rasmus Højlund. Scored 10 goals in 30 games for Manchester United this season. Not bad run of goal scoring form considering for the first half he did struggle, but it was a very confident end to the season for the young striker. Pass inside onto the edge of the area now. Backheeled ball through has been blocked by Vestergaard, and nice triangle football at the moment working in Denmark's favour. Pass inside this time goes towards Vind. He's flicked the ball down. Højlund's going to be chasing this down with Drkšić. Slide tackle from Drkšić puts the ball out of play. Denmark are wanting a throw in, but instead it's going to be brought back for a free kick at around the halfway line, where Jonas Vind was brought down to ground. And the referee is just going to have a word in the ear of Biol, who went through the back of Jonas Vind. He did try and win the ball, but Vind was too quick for him, and it did unleash Rasmus Højlund on the left hand side. Good advantage played by the referee. Ball out of play for a throw in. It's not too much of an advantage there for Denmark, and the free kick gets things back underway with Christiansen just inside his own half. To Andersen on the right hand side. Now to Barr by the touchline. Barr's ball down the line to Vind. Vind back inside to Barr. Barr tries to get the ball back to him. I think that was more of a heavy touch than anything, and it opens an attack now for Slovenia. Into the middle of the park. Tries to put the ball onto the right hand side for Sporar, but in goes the challenge of Andersen, who wins it back. Anderson's ball forward has been dispossessed. It then falls down to Slovenia, gives it to Sesko. Sesko on the edge of the area, puts it onto his right foot, and it sails just wide. That's the confidence you need from your striker around about 25 yards out. He saw an opening. With Denmark trying to watch the channels and the passes through. With only a whisker wide of it in the post from Sesko. Had an excellent season, excellent couple of seasons in fact. 30 goals in his last 61 league games in his last 2 seasons. No wonder the sides like Arsenal are keeping an eye on transfer activity for him. Pass upfield onto the right hand side for Barr. Finds the overlapping run from Højlund. Tackle made by Jansen. It's out of play for a throw-in on the right-hand side. Barr puts it into the middle. Chance now for Denmark. Quick throw-in's taken. It's fallen to Christian Eriksen. Around about 7 yards out. Eriksen's put it into the bottom corner. And that happened also quickly. Slovenia weren't quite aware of what was going on. The throw-in on the right-hand side from Barr, taken quickly. Højlund was alert to it. Vind flicked it on. Eriksen brought it down on his chest, 7 yards out. Only had Oblak to beat and put it into the bottom corner. Slovenia 0, Denmark 1, and you'd say that's very much deserved for Denmark. They're a side that has been in the ascendancy for the opening 15 minutes of this game. About a couple of phases where Slovenia have had possession themselves. Denmark have been very patient in the build-up, but this time there was no patience at all. Barr with the quick throw-in. Vind was making his way in. Flicked the ball on from around about 10 yards out. It fell to Christian Eriksen. And what a story that is. Christian Eriksen scores Denmark's first goal at Euro 2024. And it makes that hill a little bit steeper for Slovenia. The manager said before the game started, Matjaž Kek said that they've done what they expected by making it to Euro 2024. Now they just want to qualify from the group stages. They're now trailing by 1-0 against Denmark. They will get things back underway for us. 18 minutes gone. Slovenia 0, Denmark 1. Still plenty of football, of course, to be played, but Slovenia now need to up the tempo. Very slow start from them, allowing Denmark to hold on to the possession. I think it was just something they expected them to be quite patient with the ball and didn't expect a quick throw in, but shows that you have to be alert throughout the course of this game. Ball upfield from kick-off. Dealt with by Anderson onto the left-hand side now for Christiansen. Christian puts the ball up in the air in the direction of Christian Eriksen, headed away this time by Durkasic. Back into the middle of the park, but a free kick's been given to Denmark for a judged handball just outside the centre circle against Serin. And Christian Eriksen just makes his way forward, working in the number 10 role, supporting Vind and Højlund as well. Denmark supporters now in big voice as their side have this 1-0 lead. A lot of people were expecting Denmark to make it through these group stages alongside England. As the long ball forward in the direction this time of Rasmus Højlund has been headed back to Oblak. Rolls this out onto the right hand side for Korniknik. Beats his man, takes it forward past Christian Eriksen into the opposition half. Ball down the line, he's going to be chased down the right hand side by Sporar. Looks for options in the middle, pass has been blocked out this time by Vestergaard. There's calls from Denmark wanting offside. The flag stayed down even after the run of play has ended. I'm just going to look at the replay and see if he was offside. Yeah, he was quite convincingly offside. So I'm surprised the flag didn't go up on this occasion, but the pass across the face of goal was put out of play for a corner, and we are going to have a Slovenia corner. Won't have VAR intervention for an offside just for the sake of a corner. It's going to be an out swinger as Durkasic and Biol are making their way into the box. Other options are still in there. Sesko and Sporar are still available. Referee just having a word with Elsnik alongside Højbjerg in the box. That swinging corner on its way now from Serin. Options in the 6-yard box, not too many around the penalty area. Just changed the approach for this corner to be taken. Goes in towards the back post. It's been headed away this time onto the edge of the area. Left footed effort goes goalwards and just wide. Slovenia will be furious because that ball towards the back post was falling quite favourably to a Slovenia player as well before it looked like it was Bijol that got in the way of it and headed it away. Second corner for Slovenia. Serin again across to take it. Out swinging corner on its way. Denmark with two players on the edge of the box. Goes out towards the edge of the box with the corner. Effort's been blocked by the first player though, and Slovenia get the ball back at the halfway line, but it allows Denmark to move out from the back as Stojanovic moves across onto the left hand side and drops the ball off to Janza just inside Slovenia's half. Pass back across to Karniknik. Now inside to Elsnik onto the left hand side. Stojanovic is still there in space at the moment. Goes back to the halfway line, passes it to Durkasic. Forced to go onto the left hand side, but he's had to go about 5-10 yards back into his own half before he's been able to make that pass, just to make things difficult. And then the long ball forward that Slovenia have been forced through, headed away by Christiansen. Now brought down by Vind. Vind struggling with a bit of ankle pain on the back of that challenge. He just looks like he's going to be able to walk it off. He's not gone down to ground, but one of them challenges that has come keen, and the referee's given a free kick. Not equal with the centre circle, but 5 yards further out on the right hand side. Still inside Denmark's half at the moment. Taken short by Andersen. Across to Christiansen. Andersen gets it back on the right hand side. Slovenia cutting out the channels, trying to force Denmark to do exactly what Denmark have forced them to do and play the long ball forward. I dare say that every time that's happening for Slovenia though, they've got no height advantage over Denmark and they're just able to clear the lines all too easily. Nice patient build-up play at the moment. No panicking from Denmark, who are up against it, forced to go all the way back to the goalkeeper. Triangle football working for them once again. Onto the left hand side now for Christiansen by the touchline. First touch is too heavy and it's out of play for a throw in from just in front of the dugouts on this right hand side. 22 minutes gone. Slovenia 0, Denmark 1 here on Flashscore, with coverage of Euro 2024 and from Friday when the Copa America kicks off as well and gets things underway. Then taken back to Durkasic. Now across to Bijol. Onto the right hand side for Karniknik. Now to Serin. To Karniknik again inside Denmark's half. He's forced to go back again to Durkasic. Slovenia haven't really managed to get much inside Denmark's half. Denmark seem to be allowing Slovenia to have the possession inside their own half, but as soon as it gets into Denmark's half, this press just seems a bit more alive and a bit more determined to get the ball back. Now onto the right hand side for Durkasic, onto the touchline on the right hand side for Karniknik, brings it inside, pass across to Bijol, just outside of the area. Denmark now pushing even higher as his long ball forward is going to be chased down. It's been brought down nicely though by Stojanovic, but the challenge goes in by Christiansen inside the area. It goes all the way through to Schmeichel, who's had to clear his lines. It's back into the middle of the park now though with Serin. Onto the right hand side in space is Karniknik, looking for options in the box if he can get across in. He's surrounded by Denmark players though. He's had to go back into the middle of the park for Serin. He's had to go back and get the ball back, but goes back into his own half, and Slovenia is still with possession. Flips ball onto the left hand side now from Durkasic, aims for Malakar. Headed down and out of play this time from Slovenia, and Denmark have a throw in on the right hand side. I think with Denmark at the moment, they're just waiting, biding their time, because so far if they've just waited, every time Slovenia are just giving the possession back. They don't need to have the urgency to put those tackles in because the passing is doing the job for them. And saying that, the throw down the line has been intercepted by Elsnik, who goes back to Janza on the left hand side, just inside Slovenia's half. Now it's their turn to have some possession. Goes across to Durkasic, onto the right hand side for Karniknik. Closed down by Christian Eriksen. Long ball forward is going to be chased down, brought down on the chest. Second effort goes wide though by Sporar. Excellent run from him. The flag has stayed down again. He was, in fact now the flag's gone up into an offside position. I'm just going to look at the replay on this one and I think, yep, same again. This time he was offside. He's just making those runs a bit too early. That's twice he's been offside. The flag stayed down on one of those occasions though, so if he keeps on doing it and playing on the last man, it is keeping Denmark on their toes. They do have the height advantage, but defensively I'd say the speed is very much in favour of Slovenia's attack. Ball rolled out now to Christiansen, across to Andersen. Back to Christiansen again, just on the edge of the halfway line. Now across to Andersen. Andersen's pass inside, watch this time all the way through to Vind. Second challenge goes in from Bijol and wins it back for Slovenia. Now a chance to break with Serin on the right hand side. Cross goes into the box, but he was in search of Sesko. It went too waywards and goes into the hands of an unchallenged Kasper Schmeichel. Rolls it out onto the right hand side again for Joachim Andersen. Andersen back into the middle now for Christiansen. Christiansen onto the left hand side for Vestergaard. Vestergaard pass to Højbjerg. He gets the ball back shortly after. And now to Christian Eriksen with a chance to break now for Denmark. Onto the left hand side outside the area is Christiansen. Cross goes in. Managed to get away does Durkasic, but then cleared even further by Karniknik. Still on the edge of the area though with Slovenia in possession. Loses out now though as the pass, and it was a run being made by Sesko, who's gone down to ground. Wanted a free kick. Referee waves it away, and possession's back with Denmark inside Slovenia's half. Onto the left hand side now with Højbjerg. Højbjerg's pass inside to Hjulmand. And Højbjerg gets it back. Right foot across onto the opposite side. Tries to switch the ball to Bar, but it's watched well and headed away by Janse. Pass back this time to Oblak. Puts his side in trouble. Under the challenge, Janse goes down. Bar gets the ball back though. Nothing's been given. Cross into the box has been cleared out of play. And Denmark will have themselves a corner. And Slovenia masters their own downfall at that point. Bijol played the ball back to Oblak, who gave it out to Janse. And he was under pressure almost immediately from Bar. He went down under the challenge, wanting a free kick. One of those that sometimes is seen as a tactical foul, so the referee may have had that in his head. Denmark have their second corner of the first half, heading towards the half-hour mark. It's going to be Christian Eriksen with an outswinging cross again as Andersen, Vestergaard and Christiansen all make their way into the area. Drilled cross. Played back in the direction of Eriksen. Takes a good first touch. Crosses it into the box again, and it nearly fell in at the back post. It's going to be another corner to Denmark, but the clearance this time that came from Malakar has bounced off his own player and almost got into the back of the goal. Another drilled pass this time from Christian Eriksen. It was actually the clearance from Sesko, and the ball bounced off Malakar at the near post as he tries to clear his lines, and it nearly bounced into the bottom corner, just wide. And a corner now for Denmark. The angle I was looking at, it looked like Denmark were getting themselves a second goal. In-swinging corner this time from Eriksen, in towards the back post. Header won by Christiansen, but headed out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick this time for Slovenia. Jan Oblak will just take a moment to recompose his side. Pereira's nearly gifted Denmark a second goal. Oblak will play this out shortly. A close pass. Usually it's the ball upfield that sides have seemed to be opting for, especially when a goal down in the Euros. Just looking at a replay of Christian Eriksen's goal that gives Denmark the lead. Goal kick upfield, headed away. Goes back in the direction of Oblak, takes a touch outside his 6-yard box onto the right hand side now for Karniknik. Pass down the line, quick 1-2. Karniknik gets it back, but he's challenged and wins his side of throwing, but only because Christiansen lost his footing as he tried to turn very quickly to get back on the left hand side. The pass down to Stojanovic, he expected a bit of a heavier pass back, but he didn't really get one at that point. On the right hand side did Karniknik. He does have the ball at the moment though. Switches play to the left hand side for Janse, who's got plenty of space to move into. Takes it towards the halfway line. Through ball, it's an excellent through ball, but the first touch from Sesko gets away from him, and it's gone all the way through this time to Schmeichel. I think the flag would have stayed down as well. It would have. There's multiple Denmark players keeping him on side, and the first touch, it's just bounced I think off the shin, if anything. It has, off the shin pad, and that sends it into any awkward directions, and it's gone all the way through to Schmeichel. Schmeichel passes out to Vestergaard. Now back into the middle for Christiansen. Onto the right hand side for Andersen. Andersen's pass forward. Flicked on this time for Vind. Passed all the way back to his goalkeeper from Durkasic. Vind went quite alert to the flick on that Højlund was trying to support him with. And Oblak passes this onto the edge of the area for Bijol. Onto the right hand side now for Karniknik. First touch is too heavy, but he just keeps it in play. On the right hand side, he is closed down now by Christian Eriksen. Pass inside this time goes to Serin, across to Bijol. Bijol to the edge of the area with Elsnik. Onto the right hand side again. Going to be a foot race here, but quick to get there is Christian Eriksen. Brings it back onto the edge of the area. It's set up nicely this time for Højlund. Intercepted his pass though as he was trying to find the threaded ball through. Denmark still in the ascendancy, trying to create something. That good chance did go begging. As the clearance upfield from Oblak is intercepted again. Now to Højlund on the edge of the area. Twisting and turning onto the right hand side. He's managed to find Hjulmand. Onto the edge of the area with Højbjerg. Still with Denmark at the moment, but Christiansen's been intercepted. Now onto the right hand side. There's a chance to break with Stojanovic. Passes the ball across to Sporar. Options in the middle. Sporar takes it into the area. Holds the ball up as the slide tackle comes in. Cross goes in towards the middle. Headed away this time by Vestergaard. Back onto the right hand side. Just kept in play from Sporar. That's the sort of counter attack that Slovenia have tried to launch on Denmark a couple of times in this game. They've been back in numbers very quickly to stop that chance from happening. Now onto the left hand side with Janse. Goes back into his own half with Bijal at the centre circle. Across onto the right hand side for Drkšić. Takes it towards the halfway line. He's hoping for some midfield support. The midfield has kind of been bypassed throughout the course of this first half from Slovenia, and he's hoping that maybe Serin or Elzdic can offer support and maybe even be the through balls. Get the ball from the defenders and spread it out onto the wingers and try and bring more players into the game. At the moment it is the centre halves just passing the balls between them and trying to launch something themselves. This time the cross goes onto the left hand side for Janse. Still inside Denmark's half. He has to go back inside his own half though, the pass to Bijal. Bijal's long ball forward, just a bit too far ahead of Sesko, and as it's bounced it's gone all the way through into the arms of Schmeichel. That's just how it's been for Slovenia. It's these long balls forward again and again and again, and it's just not working for them. They're hoping that at some point maybe the offside trap can be sprung and they can get themselves maybe an equalising goal out of it, but they're not really creating anything with the ball or the patience that they've got in possession. Denmark forcing them for these long passes, and Sesko and Sporar can't really get onto the edge of them. It's back now to Christiansen onto the left hand side for Vestergaard. Again up towards the halfway line. Vestergaard passes this across to Andersen. Andersen takes it into the opposition half. Now down the line the pass is made. Andersen continues his overlapping run. As the pass goes back to Christiansen inside his own half, Andersen then starts to make his way back for Denmark. Christian passes it inside. Now for Hjulmand onto the right hand side for Bar by the touchline. Back to Christiansen outside the centre circle. Back onto the right hand side for Bar again. Pass inside this time goes to Hjulmand. Lets it run all the way through for Eriksson. Eriksson onto the right hand side again. Still a chance for Denmark just outside the area. In towards the back post. Christiansen heads it back into the mix. Headed away only as far as the edge of the area with Christian Eriksson. He is closed down at the moment though by Malakar. Ball across the face of goal, put out of play just before it got through to Højlund, and it's another corner for Denmark. Great ball this time from Eriksson again, and Højlund was just trying to get onto the end of it, but Bijal was equal to it and managed to get his outstretched left leg putting the ball out of play. It's on the right hand side for Denmark, so an outswinging corner from Christian Eriksson on its way. No set strategy, keeps the defence on its toes, as normally you see either an outswinger or an in-swinger being the regular occurrence for these sides, but one set piece taker as Eriksson puts this in towards the middle, headed towards the back post, brought down now by Vind, under pressure, still inside the area at the moment, lays the ball off to Vestergaard. His effort's been blocked and Slovenia try and get a counter-attack going themselves. Takes it up towards the middle of the park now does Stojanovic, and in goes the challenge, and it's an excellent challenge from Højbjerg to stop him in his tracks as Slovenia were advancing in numbers. Denmark again defensively staying solid. And to the left hand side now, the pass is made to Højlund. Højlund's got Christiansen by the touchline, gives him the ball, goes back inside this time to Hjulmand. And into the centre circle for Christiansen. Out onto the right hand side now for Andersen. Back again to Christiansen. Onto the left hand side for Vestergaard. Vestergaard's passed through, finds Christian Eriksson in a dangerous position still for Denmark. Lays this ball off for Vind. Vind onto the right hand side for Bar, headed away by Janse before he can get there. It's been brought down by Hjulmand again onto the right hand side for Andersen. Now for Christiansen, pass back inside. Now back to Andersen on the right hand side, still about now 10 yards inside of Slovenia's half. Denmark hold on to their possession. Andersen this time forced to go all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, brings him into the game a bit. He passes the ball out to Andre Christiansen. His pass onto the left hand side finds Vestergaard, who still has space to move up into, but chooses to play the sideways pass instead, and it's on to Anderson on the right hand side. Finds Bar by the touchline. Christian Eriksen is making the run for him. Aims instead towards Højlund, headed away this time by Derkasic. Now to Bijol. Goes back to Oblak inside the 6-yard box. Has to clear it the first time due to the pressure from Vind. Goes back into a Denmark area though, but the first touch from Bar puts it out of play for a Slovenia throw-in, equal with their own area on the left-hand side. And Denmark again just staying firm defensively as Slovenia try to clear their lines. Can't seem to find a way through this Denmark defence. Haven't really had too much to shout about in this first half of Slovenia. Denmark have controlled the game quite nicely. This time the long ball forward is going to be chased down on the left hand side by Sesko. Just keeps it in play, but he is closed down quickly. Manages to keep possession with Slovenia though. It isn't as clear-cut chance as first thought. Goes back inside now for Serin. Onto the right hand side, Karniknik. His cross goes in towards the near post, flicked on towards the back post, and it's been headed away by Bar, who had to be there. There's a run from Malakar at the back post that could really have spelled danger for Denmark. Cross goes in towards the near post, it's flicked on by Spirar. Bar had to get there. He looks over his shoulder, quick glance over the left shoulder, seeing Malakar is there. And knows he has to head the ball out of play. And it's the third corner for Slovenia. First from the left hand side. They've got options moving into the box now. Bijol and Derkasic make their way there. Short corner opted for. Gets the ball back now onto the edge of the area. Plays it across and lays this ball off for Stojanovic. His cross goes into the box towards the back post. It's fallen at the penalty spot, but it's been cleared this time by another Denmark player. Anderson, I think it was, that got in the way, and now it's been pulled back for offside. But Anderson was just trying to get in the way of the shot. It was a very tame effort anyway. Stojanovic's cross goes in. There were multiple Slovenia players that were in an offside position, and the one that headed it down to around the penalty spot for Spirar, who couldn't quite get a strong enough connection to the ball. They're blocked by Christiansen. Now has been pulled back for a free kick for Denmark. Schmeichel takes it onto the right hand side for Anderson, just outside of the area. Anderson back to Christiansen, just outside the goalkeeper's area, more central now, across to Vestergaard. Vestergaard does have space down the left hand side, but again just chooses to keep possession with himself instead of trying to make a few yards. Across this time to Anderson, now to Barb. Anderson gets it back. He's forced to go all the way back to Schmeichel. There's a press coming from Sesko now, and Schmeichel has to get rid of the ball quickly to Vestergaard. On the left hand side, he passes that down the line for Christiansen. Now to Christian Eriksen. Excellent football from Denmark to get out from a very difficult situation. Pass inside this time from Hjulmand. Gives the ball to Vind. Vind holds play up. Gives it back to Hjulmand. He's got Højbjerg alongside him. Eriksen is an option between two players if they can find that pass. Bar is in another option. He's by the touchline. Bar gets the ball. Options in the middle for him if he can put the cross in. Chips it down the line instead for Christian Eriksen. Eriksen tries to bring the ball back to Bar. Bar gets it. Back to Eriksen. Inside the area. Christian Eriksen's efforts blocked. Fallen in the direction of Christiansen, but he's had to let it bounce. And it's now taken a bounce outside of the area. Still on the left hand side. Still Denmark in the ascendancy at the moment. Passes it across to Højbjerg. Now across to Christiansen. Pass inside to Hjulmand, and then back to Christiansen again. Onto the left hand side for Højbjerg. By the touchline he finds Christiansen. Christiansen goes up against Karniknik again. Goes back this time to Højbjerg. Options in the middle. Højbjerg's cross goes in. It's gone all the way through. He's taken a deflection, and it's come off. Bar's saying it's come off a Slovenia play. Slovenia wants a goal kick for it. The decision is going to be a corner. And I think it's actually Janza that's followed Bar across to get there. He wants a free kick, in fact. He feels like maybe he was pushed by Bar, but he managed to get to the ball first, and it stopped the right winger from Denmark from getting a good opportunity. Missed the end of the club season through injury with Alexander Bar, but it's been raring to go in the European Championships. In swinging corner comes from Eriksen, punched away by Oblak. Only as far as Hjulmand. Gets it at the halfway line. Inside the centre circle, goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Again allows Denmark to regroup as we're into the final 5 minutes of regular time of this first half. Pass goes out onto the right hand side to Bar. Just lays the ball off to Anderson. No urgency from this Denmark side. Pass on to the left hand side now for Vestergaard. Back inside to Christiansen. Short pass to Højbjerg. Still inside the centre circle. Takes into Slovenia's half though. Across to Vestergaard now. Finds further down the line Christiansen. Now to Eriksson. Christiansen's then made a run. Eriksson instead opts to go back to Vestergaard. Vestergaard plays the ball though to Christiansen. Brings it inside. Has to go back into his own half. And then Vestergaard goes all the way back to his goalkeeper just on the outside of the area. And Schmeichel plays it across onto the right hand side for Andersen. Pass back inside to Christiansen. Halfway between the halfway line and the goalkeeper's area at the moment, with Denmark in possession as Vestergaard gets it now on the left hand side. Passes it across again to Andersen. So inside their own half, Andersen's long ball forward goes in the direction of Højlund. He's tried to leave it to get all the way through to Christiansen. Christiansen couldn't quite get there either. And the ball is now picked up by Stojanovic. Plays it back to Drkšić. Clearance down the line, brought down in the middle of the park by Højbjerg. He's done well as well. Gives this to Christian Eriksen. Lines up a shot. His effort's been blocked. It's fallen back down onto the left-hand side for Højbjerg. Pass back inside for Hjulmand. And now Højbjerg again. Inside Slovenia's half, only just though. As the centre circle, Christiansen gets the ball back. Now gives it across to Højbjerg again. And now Vestergaard, Christiansen onto the right-hand side for Andersen. Good passage of play at the moment from Denmark, just controlling possession, looking for those gaps and the chance that could make it 2-0 just before half-time. It really changes your game plan if you can score just before half-time. It changes the opposition game plan more so. Slovenia, of course, at the moment just trying the long ball, but they might have to add a bit more urgency if they go another goal down just before half-time. On the flip side of it, if Slovenia can get themselves a quick breakaway and maybe an equaliser before half-time, it changes the approach and the game plan, perhaps even for Denmark. There's the pass inside for Christiansen. Picked up by Vind. Vind lays the ball back. It's fallen favourably to Eriksson, who's skied that over from around about 12 yards out on his left foot. Lent back a bit too early, had to try and get it past a couple of players, but Slovenia again struggling defensively. It's a lovely ball back from Vind, and Eriksson, if somebody told him, may even have had time to take a touch before getting a shot on target. On this occasion he sent it over and into the stands, and Oblak will have a goal kick to take. And maybe that is worrying, taking these short goal kicks when that's actually gifting Denmark a couple of opportunities. So Oblak's gone upfield again, route one this time. Headed away by Andersen before it can get to Sesko. And a free kick has been given against Andersen. The referee feels like his arms were all around Sesko. And it's around about 35-40 yards out is this free kick on the left hand side. Players moving forward at the moment. Slowly Drkšić is making his way forward as assistance as well. Everybody back for Denmark. Bijol's just gone into the box as well, or onto the edge of the box should I say, because of the high line that Denmark are playing from this set piece. Cross goes in towards the back post, headed away by Christiansen before it can get there. Brought down now by Højlund. Tries to hold play up. Højlund's pass inside. Falls to Højbjerg onto the right hand side. Now it's with Andersen. Andersen finds that ball down the line for Christian Eriksen. Flag has stayed down despite Slovenian protest. Eriksen onto his left foot, ball across the face of goal. And now a free kick's going to be given to Denmark just inside Slovenia's half. Christian Eriksen was maybe off balance when he was trying to make that pass across. Put it onto his left foot after dribbling it onto the inside of Karniknik. And yeah, the shirt pull from Karniknik has pulled Eriksen down to the floor. He may have been going down anyway due to his balance, but it's not helped things. It's given the referee a decision to make. Pass now to Christiansen. Goes towards Vind on the left hand side. Vind closing him down as Drkšić with the tackle gets the ball away. Headed away though by Vestergaard as far as Højbjerg. Højbjerg inside Slovenia's half at the moment. Finds Vind again. Jonas Vind brings it inside, puts it onto his right foot. Back to Højbjerg. He has got Christiansen by the touchline on the left hand side. He gets the ball and then has to go back again. 1 minute of added time has been given to end this first half. There's not been too many stoppages to talk about. And touch wood, thankfully, we've had quite a nice game between the two sides. No yellow cards, nothing too outlandish. Both sides so far just trying to bide their time and find a chance. It's worked once for Denmark and hasn't yet come to any success from Slovenia. And Denmark have scored first now in 12 of the last 15 games It was 11 of the last 14 before this game got underway, but Barr gets the ball on the right hand side, just outside of the area. Back off to the edge of the area. The first touch from Hjulmand, cleared by Bijol. Now it's Christiansen. Christian's pass inside this time for Højbjerg, switches out onto the right hand side for Barr, and there goes the half-time whistle, and Denmark will take that 1-0 lead quite comfortably into half-time against Slovenia, a side that have very much struggled to get things going. They're worried that history may very well repeat itself. Slovenia have never beaten Denmark in any fixture in football. So, heading into the second half, a very entertaining 45 minutes promises to be on its way in the first game of Group C of Euro 2024. Slovenia Slovenia 0, Denmark 1, courtesy of the goal of Christian Eriksen. And it's Denmark that will get things underway for us in the second half in all red shirts, socks and shorts up against all white of Slovenia. And it's going to be Christian Eriksen and Rasmus Højlund both stood over the ball. Not quite a regular thing at the moment, is it, where two players stood over the ball for a kick-off. And Højlund gets the ball and plays it straight onto the right-hand side for Barr. Goes back this time for Andersen. And back to Christiansen again. And Denmark look to continue from where they left off at the end of the first half. Very possession-based game for Denmark in the first half. They were closing down Slovenia when they was only inside their own half. When Slovenia was in Slovenia's half, they were allowing them to play around with the ball and keep hold of possession. They were forcing these long passes down the line, and to no avail for Slovenia in that first half. Denmark were handling it all defensively quite well. As now the challenge goes in from Jonas Vind, and he commits a foul onto Elsnik. And a free kick for Slovenia just inside their own half. It's a bit of a late challenge there on its way through. And the free kick goes all the way back to Oblak. Spreads it onto the left-hand side now for Janza. Closed down quickly by Barr. Clearance comes off Barr. And he wins a throw-in from around the same area as the goalkeeper's area on the left-hand side. That's the urgency that Denmark have shown. Trying to capitalise on any sort of heavy touches from Slovenia. Try and force them into errors and give him possession back. And for the best part of the first half, it very much was just Slovenia gifting the ball away far too cheaply, far too easily. And it has opened the door on multiple occasions for Denmark chances. And now they have a throw in, Slovenia do, at the halfway line on the left hand side. It's going to be taken by Janza. He goes across just in front of the dugout. No changes have been made at half time. The referee's just having a word with Højbjerg and Sporar. Sporar's had quite a few chances in that first half. He's trying to be getting through the last man, playing on the shoulder of the last man at the moment, trying to get through that offside trap that Denmark have executed so far to perfection. I think everything's been that they are offside. There was once when the flag stayed down, but that was an incorrect decision. As Højlund gets the ball now and has a chance to break on the right hand side. Wonderful slide tackle made by Durkasic. Ball given back to Højlund though. Now to Vind on the right hand side on the edge of the area. Vind passes the ball inside, tries to get back to it, but it's cleared first by Bijol before it can get to the goalkeeper. Højlund was lurking in that area as well. Wonderful challenge in the end made by Durkasic just to catch Højlund out as Barr takes a throw into the area. Vind brings it back inside, cleared onto the edge of the area. Now it's going to be closed down by Højbjerg, plays it back towards the halfway line. Brought down by Christiansen. Christiansen inside his own half, onto the left hand side now for Vestergaard. Vestergaard's pass inside for Højbjerg, spreads it onto the right hand side. In space now is Andersen. Andersen's cross over towards Højbjerg. Collected well defensively. And Vind tries to put him under pressure, and it wins his side of throwing. Going to be taken on the left hand side by Christiansen. Christian throws it short to Højbjerg, who gives it to Hjulmand. Back to Christiansen on the left hand side. Quick footwork to get it to the edge of the area, but is forced to go back again. As this time does go to Eriksen. Back to Christiansen. Now goes all the way back to Vestergaard. And back to Christiansen on the left hand side. Inside to Hjulmand. And now the centre half Christiansen to Eriksen onto the right hand side to Andersen. A very organised Denmark side. It was said in the first half they are very organised defensively. They know the positions where they need to be, and they've got players doing the correct roles. And we are now going to see our first yellow card of the afternoon, as there was Sesko making a run forward. Højlund's gone into it, and Hjulmand's just held on to the shirt of Sesko. He has won the ball off of the attacker from Slovenia, but the referee's having no nonsense of it this second half. There weren't too many fouls in the first half. We say there wasn't a yellow card. There weren't too many bad challenges at all in the first half that could have been warranting of a yellow card, but this one was classed as cynical, and therefore the referee's given a free kick for it and a yellow card for the troubles as well. Free kicks ball forward, goes towards Sesko. He's chested this down. Chip ball forward to be chased in by Sesko again. Cleared the lines, does Christiansen. It's a throw in on the left hand side for Slovenia. A rather dangerous position. Sesko, who just managed to direct his chest. He got a bit of a boot in the ribs at the same time from Anderson, who wasn't to know that he was there. He was looking in the opposite direction, but Janza is the one that's going to take this throw in. Just trying to organise players in the box before he gets the throw in into the box. Sesko and Christiansen battling in the area of Kasper Schmeichel inside the 6-yard box. As across the ball goes into the middle. It's saved by Kasper Schmeichel and cleared at the back post by Christiansen. That run was being made by Sesko towards the near post. The referee's just going to have a quick word with him as well. It's called over Bijol. Quite sure who this effort actually came off last. It's actually come off of Christiansen. Actually, it's Vestergaard. Vestergaard, and I'm thinking it might be coming off of his arm as he's gone in for the slide tackle with his arms up, so it does ask a couple of questions. It's a throw in on the right hand side now to be taken by Slovenia. And Janza goes across to take this as well. Long throw specialist, just put one into a very dangerous position. Could be looking to do the same again. Sesko around again, about the same area as before towards Kasper Schmeichel. Throwing comes in, Schmeichel punches it away, back in towards the middle. He can't quite get the final touch to it. Just keeps it in play before it goes out for a goal kick. Cross comes back in, and this time it's going to go out for a goal kick. This time the throw-in that went in towards the middle is punched away by Kasper Schmeichel. It was Bijol that was running at the back post as the ball came back across from, I think it was Elsnik that got the cross in. And it was so unfortunate that he couldn't quite get a touch to it because Kasper Schmeichel was still out of the field. He was out of position. And he couldn't quite get his foot onto it, and I think there might be hopes for a penalty here. And actually there's maybe a very good shout. Spurar, in the process of that, has gone to try and get to the ball before it's gone through to Bijol, and he's taken a bit of a hit from Anderson, and we are having a VAR check. This could very well be a penalty for Slovenia. Now this could change the course of the remainder of this game, because at that point Spurar's got his back to goal, the ball has come back across, and Christiansen's stretched out to get to the ball, and he's actually kicked the player in the process of it. The decision is there's not going to be a penalty. The check is over, and we're not going to be able to continue, but it certainly raised a couple of questions at that point. It was dangerous at the time from Anderson. Spar gets the ball on the right hand side now for Denmark. That's a scare that they've just managed to avoid. They'll want to get this insurance goal as soon as possible, just to be able to not worry so much about this livelier second half attack from Slovenia. Now to Højbjerg. That's onto the left hand side for Christiansen. Christiansen back inside now for Hjormund. Pass forward brought down. Højbjerg's going to chase it again. Going to have to chase this all the way through to Jan Oblak. He clears the ball out onto the right hand side. It's been brought down very well by Kek. And the free kick is going to be given to Denmark. Kek passes the ball forward, and Elsnik's gone in for the challenge. Stojanovic was then into the next challenge with Højbjerg and concedes a free kick doing so. Not quite sure a yellow card's warranted for that. He's got the ball under his foot, and then as he's turned, he's gone to pass the ball. And he has actually got the ball first, but then he's tripped Højbjerg in the process. I'm not sure that a yellow card was needed for that, but the referee has chosen to go with that. We're now on a yellow card apiece. Stood over the free kick is Christian Eriksen, just as the referee is telling a couple of players to move away, one of which is Bijol, who was asking the question of the free kick. Never mind the yellow card as well. Christiansen is alongside Eriksen, but there are options in the middle of Andre Christiansen, George Manderson and Jan Vestergaard. Eriksen's cross goes in towards the middle, it's flicked on towards the back post, it's just wide. It's going to be a corner. Andre Christiansen did get his head to it, but he must have taken a deflection away from goal to push it just wide. That's come off Andre Christiansen, and there was also a leap in there from Bijol, and I don't think he knew anything about it, because as he'd gone up for the header, it kind of changed the way in which it was hitting his head when Andre Christiansen flicked it on. But it's a corner on the left hand side now for Denmark. Christian Eriksen with the in-swinger goes back in towards the middle of of the area, headed away this time by Bijol again. It's going to be chased down on the opposite side. Down under the challenge goes Bar, and he's wanting a free kick for it. I'm not sure if the free kick is what's going to be given. I think it is, and he's going to be very careful of Stojanovic. A little shove in the back of Bar, who's gone down onto the ball. Just gets back up, no problem, but Stojanovic has just been booked. So he's got to be very careful. The last thing Slovenia need, just when they've had that penalty that VAR turned down, they want to make sure that they're not doing anything that's going to maybe throw the game away for them. And Stojanovic on a yellow card, doing something silly like that, opens up that potential. Eriksson is stood over the ball, as is Christiansen. Christiansen runs over it as Eriksson passes the ball into the box. Cleared at the first attempt. Second attempt clears it further from the edge of the area. Headed back into that area from Hjulmand. Now to Højlund on the edge of the area. Højlund puts it onto his right foot, tries to get there first. Cleared as far as Eriksson. On the right hand side, Eriksson gets the ball. Finds the overlapping run. Just kept in play by Anderson. Passes it back down the line to Bar. Bar is looking for any options. He has to go back to Anderson, who's overlapped him on his way back towards his own half. And Hjulmand passes it back onto the right hand side. Højbjerg left to run this time by Eriksson. It's with Vind. Vind brings it inside, goes down under the channel, but it's back with Bar. Bar's pass into the area, cleared out of play, and it's going to be another corner for Denmark. Bijol got there first. We'll just have a moment's pause while Højlund gets back to his feet. But it's the 7th corner of the game for Denmark as they continue their search for this elusive second goal. It's a good ball from Bar, good run again from Vind. The challenge into the back came from Dirkisic, and I think if anything it wasn't a bad tackle, it was just afterwards. Dirkisic seems to have landed on the back area, the kidney area of Rasmus Højlund, and that could have been the issue as Eriksson's cross goes in towards the middle again, headed away from the 6-yard box, further away from the edge of the area, but nobody's forward for Slovenia, and it does give Denmark the option to go all the way back this time to Kasper Schmeichel, and they just hold on to possession again. Schmeichel's ball forward onto the right hand side, brought down by Eriksson, back again to Anderson. Anderson now to Christiansen. Christiansen across to Vestergaard, just outside the centre circle inside their own half, pass inside to Højbjerg. Højbjerg dribbles it round and decides to pass eventually out to Anderson, who is under pressure, gives it to Bar. Now to Christian Eriksson's first time long ball forward towards Højlund. Headed away. Looked on further away this time by Elsnik. Onto the right hand side. Brought down by Christiansen. Tries for the ball down the line from the overlap of Vestergaard, but it's out of play from a block, and around the halfway line it's going to be a throw on the left hand side for Vestergaard. Vestergaard's throwing's taken again, brought down by Christiansen. He felt like he was held, nothing's given as Slovenia forced to go all the way back to Oblak. First touch is difficult, second one gets the ball out from under his feet, but again the ball goes all the way through to a Denmark defender. Slovenia caught back out of possession once again as Christiansen now plays it across to Vestergaard. Again at the halfway line, Vestergaard onto the right hand side for Anderson. Anderson now to Bar. Bar down the line, it's watched running, and it's going to be Bar chasing it again. Can he get back onto it? No, he can't. Eriksson felt he was pushed in the back, nothing's been given. Bar tried to get onto the end of his own ball down the line, but couldn't get to that either. And a throw now on the left hand side for Slovenia inside their own half. Jansa's going to take it, looking for options down the line, throws it down the line just over Bar, but quick to get there is Anderson again. Only goes as far as the middle of the park with Serin. Serin passes it forward, but the interception comes from Andre Christiansen again. Passes it out this time to Anderson, and Denmark get possession back quite quickly again. And Anderson's ball forward has been challenged by Dirkisic, whose challenge goes all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel. He's passed this out onto the left hand side for Christiansen. By the touchline, he goes back to Vestergaard. Still has Hjulmand as an option. Passes it over instead onto the right hand side for Anderson. Anderson now to Bar. Bar's pass inside to Højbjerg. It's been blocked. It has fallen now though to Sesso. Sesko's just missed out on the through ball. Malakar's going to take the resulting throw-in as Højbjerg makes up for his error and gets the ball back out of play as we reach the hour mark here in Stuttgart. Slovenia 0, Denmark 1. Going on the left hand side now. Janza comes across to take it again. Goes it back towards the halfway line with Bijol. Bijol switches onto the right-hand side for Karniknik. Goes down, but he's very slow to get any sort of support. He's eventually managed to find the pass short to Serin, but it's too late, and Denmark are managing to cut out any sort of channels, and Slovenia just don't seem like a side that are managing to create too many chances or even put the ball into those dangerous areas. That ball forward then was going towards Spora again, who again has been caught offside. This must be the fourth time in this game where he's moved from an offside position to try and get the ball, but I think that was the wrong decision. I think that one, the flag should have stayed down, in fact. But a free kick for Denmark's been given nonetheless. Onto the left-hand side. Pass back inside has been dispossessed. A chance now for Slovenia. It's still only the one goal, so an error defensively for Denmark. Slovenia will still feel like they've got a chance as the ball onto the right-hand side for Spora this time. It's too heavy and goes out of play for a throw-in. It's equal with their own area on the left-hand side, though, for Denmark. They do have work to do to get the ball out defensively. Slovenia will now apply a bit more of a high press to try and keep Denmark in that sort of area. They've been under pressure in these circumstances a couple of times in this game, and they've done well to get themselves out of it again. Anderson onto the right hand side for Bar, just inside his own half. Bar's pass inside this time, held up by Højbjerg. Højbjerg can distribute the ball onto the left hand side for Christiansen. He's in plenty of space. He's eventually closed down by Karniknik. Back inside to Højbjerg, then across to Hjulmand. Højbjerg again, down the line to Christiansen, this time to Vind. He's let the ball run, but it's been cleared before it can get all the way through to Christian Eriksen. Denmark get the ball back. Eriksen again, halfway between the halfway line and the goalkeeper's area. Eriksen plays it across, this time for Hjulmand. Pass forward to Christiansen. Onto the left hand side, down the line, he has got support. Cross goes in towards Bar, it's too heavy and it's gone out of play for a throw-in. Not quite sure how close he thought Bar was, making his run late into the area. It was too heavy of a pass, it's gone all the way through and out of play for a throw-in for Slovenia on the left-hand side, and Janza again will go across to take it. Janza's throw down the line. Gets the ball back, and his ball upfield has gone out of play for a throw-in on the right-hand side, just in front of the technical area. Throw-in's taken by Anderson. Gives it across to Højbjerg. Onto the left-hand side now, though, for Christiansen. Goes back into the middle for Vestergaard. Now to Andre Christiansen. Cross onto the right-hand side. That pass goes to Judge Anderson. Now to Bar. Just inside Denmark's half at the moment. Denmark just happy to let the ball do the work. They're looking very organised, but they're not doing much creativity-wise. Denmark at the moment is under the challenge. Højbjerg goes down, wants a free kick, nothing's given. The ball has fallen to Spora, who goes back into his own half, and now it's Slovenia back with possession. Pass on to the left-hand side for Elsnik. Elsnik has plenty of space to move into. He's got a lot of space to move into. Decides to put the cross into the box. Headed away by Christiansen again. Brought down by Eriksen. Onto the left-hand side, it's passed now to Christiansen. Tries to beat his man. Has to put the through ball there for Christian Eriksen, but Højbjerg's brought down to the floor before he can flick the ball on. And the free kick's been given against Derkasic, just inside Denmark's half. Held the ball up well, but he was then going to try and get the ball through to Christian Eriksen, but the shirt was halfway up his back. There was that much of a challenge from Derkasic. Free kick's taken short. Back to Christian Eriksen. Now to Andre Christiansen. At the centre point of that back three that Denmark are playing. Does that with Barcelona as well. All upfield. Intercepted this time, and Cisco tries to get there, but he's had the ball taken away from him, and Hjulmand has a chance to break. Hjulmand has a lot of space available and a lot of support. Gives it to Christiansen. Across the face of goal it goes. That's a wonderful save by Jan Oblak, as Rasmus Højlund's ended up in the back of the goal. The second attempt's been blocked. Højlund's still down in the back of the goal as Højbjerg gets the ball to Bar on the right hand side. His cross comes in this time, it's taken a deflection. Christiansen at the opposite side gives it to Højlund. First touch is too heavy, the header comes in and a free kick was about to be given, but the referee's allowed play to continue with an advantage for Slovenia on the right hand side. Brought down now by Sesko. at the halfway line. He just waits for extra support to get to him, plays the ball across sideways, but wow, what a moment that was for Denmark to maybe double their lead. It's an excellent ball by Christiansen across the face of goal to Højlund, who was making that run, and from around about 3 yards out, Jan Oblak's just spread his body out like an eagle and managed to get to the ball and block that chance. And as the ball came back out, I think it was with Højbjerg that was having the shot. That was blocked again, this time by I think Vind. It was blocked by his own player. But Oblak is back to his feet. There was a bit of a collision there as Højbjerg went into the back of the goal. It's a wonderful ball across. And Højbjerg that gets there, it's come off of the chest of Jan Oblak. He's just spread himself out really well, and Højbjerg's ended up in the back of the goal as a result of it. He thought maybe the ball had as well. I don't think he can believe that that's not gone in. It's a good save by the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, ever present in the league for them this season. There's a lot of that form into his national side as the captain. To the left hand side, the pass goes to Janza. Janza's ball down the line is going to be chased. It's managed to get all the way through. There's a chance now on the left hand side with Spora. Cross goes in towards the box. It's headed to the back post, and it's just wide by Serin, who was making his run at the 6-yard box. I think he was hoping that there was going to be somebody lurking there. As that ball down the line, Anderson's tried to stretch out but can't get to it. Just kept in play on that left hand side. He's taken a touch of Spora, put the ball into the box, and it was about to be headed away, so he had to get there first, did Serin. From around about 8 yards out, tried to direct it away from Kasper Schmeichel at the back post. Schmeichel just watched the ball go wide, put his arms up as if he knew it was going in that direction and wasn't going to worry him anyway. Good positional awareness from former Leicester City goalkeeper and of course Premier League winner. And we are going to see our first change now, and that is Verbeek that's going to come on, Benjamin Verbeek. And he is going to come on in place of the already booked Petar Stojanovic. So a like-for-like change on that side. The Denmark manager did say that his side don't have any injuries, but they have a lot of fitness worries, so they will need to utilise all 5 substitutions that are available to them throughout the course of this game. They're yet to make one, and we're knocking on the door of the 70th minute mark. Cross goes in this time on the left hand side from Christiansen. It has been blocked and put out of play for a throw-in as Denmark continue to pressure this Slovenia defence. Christiansen again with the throw-in. He's looking for options. He's gone towards Vind in the middle, brings this down for Eriksson. Eriksson takes a moment with it, then tries chipping the goalkeeper, but it's chipped the goal as well, and it's going to be a goal kick for Slovenia. Put down well by Jonas Vind, who has actually played quite well as a target man. Of course, getting the assist as well. As that goes back to Christiansen. Now onto the right hand side, just kept in play by Karniknik. That's inside to Verbeek. Watched out of play on the left hand side by Christiansen. He's not wasting any time, takes his throw in quickly. Passed inside from Højlund to Christiansen. And now back to Hjulmand. Hjulmand's got Eriksson alongside him, instead opts to go back to Anderson again. Anderson then to Eriksson, who's been caught out in possession. Sesko will get there. Sesko will get there for the second attempt as well. Onto the left hand side, the pass has been made to Verbeek, who's gone down under the challenge. Referee gives no free kick. I thought the free kick was probably warranted in that situation. The referee's waved it away, and Højbjerg comes out with the ball. Onto the left hand side finds Christiansen, who's come a bit more central. Plays it back into the middle again for Vestergaard. Now back to Højbjerg again. Højbjerg onto the right hand side for Anderson. Anderson goes back to Andre Christiansen again. It's back inside for Christian Eriksson. Looks down that left hand side for Anderson, but he's gone down and wanted a free kick, nothing given. The ball's gone upfield, and then Andre Christiansen's gone in for a challenge this time with Sesko and concedes a free kick just inside his own half. And his dispute with the referees, he felt that a free kick was probably warranted a moment ago, but it's just outside the centre circle, inside Denmark's half, and Slovenia have themselves a free kick. In a dangerous position if they can get a good ball into the box. Onto the left hand side, the pass is made instead to Janse. Goes back into the middle now for Derkisic. Ball upfield, headed away this time by Andersen. Played further away by Christiansen on the left hand side. Finds Højlund. Højlund's done well to bring this down. Now gives it to Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen continues pressing forward. Back to Højlund on the left hand side. Højlund has a player to beat. Brings it onto his left foot. Takes it into the area. But a well timed challenge from Derkisic puts it out of play for a corner on the left hand side. And Denmark will have yet another corner and another chance to upset Slovenia. As the referee has just gone over and booked on the touchline an assistant from Denmark. I think was in a dispute about the free kick being given against this side just a moment ago, but Christian Eriksen's on the left hand side with a right footed in swinging corner on its way. Options are in the middle. The three tall centre-halves make the way there again, in towards the back post, headed over this time though from around about 4 yards out by Vind. It's going to be a goal kick to Slovenia. I think they'll be disappointed in their performance so far. We are just into the 71st minute, but it is a case of they've not really done too much to upset this Denmark side. They've just taken everything Slovenia have thrown at them in stride and proven they are the much stronger side. Oblak gets the ball from a goal kick. Passes it out onto the right hand side now for Karniknik. Options down the line, dribbles it inside Christian Eriksen, passes it across the face of goal, and just inside the area it's collected by Bijol. Passes it out to Janse on the left hand side. Janse down the line to Malakar. Back to Janse again. Now back to his centre half Bijol. Bijol's ball forward is headed down this time by Sesko. Brought back to the edge of the area. Now to the halfway line. Given to Verbeek. Verbeek passes it back. Slovenia trying to do what Denmark have tried to do throughout this game so far, and that's just hold on to possession. It's something they've struggled to manage for the majority of this game. There's an arrow being pointed there by Spura, who wanted the ball being threaded through. He was playing on the last man again, wanted the ball passing, wasn't getting it, and has just shown his frustration to his Slovenian teammates, saying that he feels that although he has been offside a couple of times, it's still the right decision to try and make those plays. We've got another couple of substitutions ready on the bench for Slovenia, one of which is Jan Stankovic. And the ball with Andre Christiansen onto the right hand side for Andersen. By the touchline to Bar. First touch down the line, goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw in just inside Denmark's half on the left hand side for Slovenia. They're going to halt those substitutions just yet. They changed their mind about those just while Slovenia have this throw in front of them. Thrown down the line, headed away at the first attempt by Bar. Flicked on though well by Sesko, who's gone down under the challenge and wins a free kick in a very dangerous position on the left hand side, about 5 yards out of the area, and a bit more defensive work for Denmark to have to do. He's brought down to the floor by Andersen, the Crystal Palace centre half. Quite a good season with Crystal Palace, of course. A lot of Crystal Palace players being called up for international duty, 4 of which are featuring in the England squad. Of course, England against Serbia will be here on Flash Score for you later on, as will all England games throughout the course of Euro 2024, as we follow the competition and the Copa America this year. Cross goes in towards the middle. It's just been put out of play by Andersen before Spura could get there. In fact, Denmark are wanting a goal kick for it. They're feeling that it actually came off of the Slovenia striker last. Just looking at if there was any offsides. There is one player offside. Is he the one that intervenes with play? Not quite sure. It is Sesko that's in the offside position. And it's not Sesko that's got to the ball. It's actually going to be a Denmark goal kick. It's been missed by Spura. He'll be disappointed with himself that from that distance. He hasn't at least managed to trouble Kasper Schmeichel. Schmeichel's goal kick headed out of play, and it's going to go for a throw-in on the right-hand side. But just before we do, we are going to see those two changes. The first of which is Zan Seller coming onto the field. The second of which we'll see the introduction of Jan Stankovic. So, an extra bit of pressure for Denmark to handle. Leaving the field is Malakar, who hasn't really managed to get himself into this game. They've not managed to use that left-hand side much at all. But Timmy Elsnik is the other one that is coming off of the field. So Elsnik and Malakar off, Selar and Stankovic on. And the extra two substitutions that Slovenia have just done. They've got two changes left if they wish to use them. And we are just moments away from seeing a couple of Denmark changes as well. Thomas Delaney all warmed up. Yusuf Poulsen all warmed up and ready to go. At the next intervention of the ball going out of play. Back to Dirksic. That's onto the left-hand side now for Janza. Against Slovenia, a side that have very much struggled to get things going. They're worried that history may very well repeat itself. Slovenia have never beaten Denmark. They've won themselves a corner, but that is just what this player can do, given the opportunity. Ball upfield is brought down, and around about 20 yards out, he's brought the ball down on his chest, and Kasper Schmeichel had absolutely no chance of getting towards it, and it was marginally close to going into the back of the goal. It's just caught the post and bounced back into play. But that is Sesko for you. And if you weren't aware of his name before, you will be now. One of the young prospects of this competition. Outswinging corner comes in towards the back post. It has fallen again, this time for Zang, and it's an equalising goal! It's caught Kasper Schmeichel off-footed, and it's actually Janza at the back post who's managed to capitalise on the ball falling to him. Slovenia have had multiple corners where it's actually been lifted towards the edge of the area, hoping that some sort of set piece that's come from the training ground will work in their favour. It's fallen to Janza 20 yards out. I think it's taken a deflection on its way through. I'm going to credit the goal to Janza because I felt it was going on target at least before it's taken that deflection. And it's caught Kasper Schmeichel completely off-footed. He's tried to lift his leg to get there in the end. He can't. It's Slovenia 1, Denmark 1. And for all the domination that has been shown throughout the course of this game by Denmark, they haven't capitalised, they haven't taken their chances. And given the moment, Slovenia have taken one, and it has come off of the back on its way through by Hjulmand. I'm going to credit the goal to Janza anyway. And I think Kasper Schmeichel did have it covered until it took that deflection that just took the ball away from him. And Slovenia are back on level terms. You can see the pain, you can see the anguish in the eyes of Kasper Schmeichel, who hasn't had much to do in the course of this game. That may very well be the first shot on target from Slovenia, and it's resulted in an equalising goal. And now they will feel confident that maybe they could push on and take all 3 points. And what an upset that could be in Group C. Serbia taking on England later. Slovenia, for the moment, should they get the win, could go to the top of Group C. A side that felt that they was fortunate to get through the qualification stages. Cross goes in towards the back post again. Janza is there again. Back in towards the middle. First effort's been blocked. Second one sent over the crossbar. But there's confidence in the Slovenia side now that we haven't seen for the previous 75 minutes. They're a side that are determined. They're confident. They feel that they could take all 3 points from this Denmark side that didn't want them earlier on in the game. It's been headed away at the near post, and the effort that came in from Janza just took a deflection off of Hjulmand on its way through. And there's an urgency, there's a desire within this Slovenia side now. Passing out from the back isn't working for Denmark. The long ball forward falls to the feet of Højlund, but it's a free kick to Slovenia just inside Denmark's half. We are now about to enter into the final 10 minutes of this game, and the first change from Denmark has been made, and it is Christensen out on the left hand side that is going to go off, and it's going to be Meili that comes on. So Joachim Meili is on the field, and he's on in place of Victor Christiansen. Free kick taken. Headed away by Christiansen. It has fallen to Sesko still though, and a free kick has now been given to Denmark for a push in the back just outside of the area. Denmark just taking their time. They've gone from a side that was in the ascendancy and was ready for taking all 3 points, and it was very much a deserved 3 points, to a side that now has the work cut out for them to rescue a point from this game. But they have just got themselves a corner out on the right hand side. They wanted a goal kick, did Slovenia, but it's not being given. Bijol was just talking to the linesman, saying that he felt that actually came off of Sela, but it's not being given. Corner now coming from Eriksson. In outswinger again on the right hand side. Options in the box are available to him. It goes in towards the back post this time. Headed back goalwards. Saved and well held by Oblak. It was heading towards the top corner, but at the angle Oblak was already there. And that's an experienced goalkeeper for you, knowing the position, knew exactly where he needed to be, exactly where his goals were, and he's caught and held onto the ball well. Rolls this out onto the right hand side. Chance now for Slovenia to break. Pass from Karniknik. Out of play for a throw in at the halfway line again. Throw-in's been dispossessed. It's fallen this time to Verbic, who's tried the through ball. A chance here for Slovenia to take another one, but it's gone just wide. And Spurar's wanting a corner, and a corner is what he's going to get. They're saying it's come off Kasper Schmeichel last. The throw-in that was going straight to Højbjerg in the middle of the park. And I'm not quite sure just what's happened to this Denmark side at the moment. I'm just going to see where that touch has come from Spurar, who's feeling that it should be a corner. I'm not quite sure it's actually taken a touch off any Denmark players. But the linesman's given a corner for it, and that's exactly what it's going to be. But Denmark now struggling to get out of their own half. Poor throwing from their own left-hand side, trying to find Højbjerg, who it was too heavy of a throw to him, and he went out of play. Fifth corner now for Slovenia. On the right hand side, 2 players stood over it, could be in or out swinging. Decides for an in swinger, caught and held by Kasper Schmeichel inside his 6-yard box. Looks for urgency from his own side, doesn't have it. Has to take his time, and it allows Slovenia to reposition themselves. Schmeichel distributes this onto the left hand side. It's an excellent ball. I thought it was going to go out of play for a throw-in, but he's done well to find his player. Into Vestergaard, now to Christiansen. Just outside the centre circle. Christiansen puts it onto the right hand side. This is it forward now to Hjulmand. Onto the left hand side for Vestergaard again, up towards the halfway line. Vestergaard's right footed ball forward onto the right hand side. He was in search of Bar, but it's too heavy and it's out of play for Slovenia goal kick. And while that's happening, we'll have another Denmark couple of changes, just as Durkasic is shouting towards the Slovenian supporters behind the stand to raise their voice a little bit higher. Rasmus Højlund leaves the field. We'll feel unfortunate not to have got more out of his chances. Yusuf Poulsen come on in his place. He had that one chance that was a well saved effort from Jan Oblak. So Højlund, Vind and Højbjerg all leave the field in a triple substitution. And coming on to the field is Poulsen, Dolberg and Norgard. So 3 changes made at once there. There's still 1 change available should they wish to use it. And the goal kick's taken onto the right hand side. Brought down by Stankovic. Looks for the ball further forward down to be chased by Poulsen. It's intercepted and won back by Vestergaard, who goes back to his goalkeeper. Schmeichel sends this upfield. It's been brought down again by Stankovic. Headed away by Andre Christiansen. Now to Christian Eriksen. Makes his way into the opposition half. Eriksen goes down under a push. The referee gives a free kick and gives a yellow card this time to the Slovenia substitute Zansela. Out on the right hand side. He had to do something because Christian Eriksen was on his way through and he had options either side of him. Free kick's taken short by Vestergaard. Vestergaard gets the ball back. Just outside the centre circle, now to Hjulmand. Grumman goes back to Andre Christensen, out onto the right-hand side for Barr. He's under pressure, looks down the line, finds the passes on, gives it to Poulsen. In goes the challenge from Bijol. It's going to be a throw-in on the right-hand side now for Denmark. Barr is the player on that right-hand side. Takes a long throw into the area, nearly reaches the penalty spot, flicked on by Poulsen, cleared on the right-hand side though by Durkasic. Still falls to Andre Christensen, onto the right-hand side now for Andersen. He's been dispossessed, the passes now are wayward. This Denmark side look to have lost confidence from that Slovenia equaliser. Can't string these passes together anymore. Now to Barr, onto the right-hand side. Brought down by Poulsen. Poulsen dribbles it inside onto his left foot. Plays it more central now to Christian Eriksen. He's onto his right foot. His pass goes forward, laid onto the edge of the area. Back towards Eriksen, headed away though. And Barr's back quickly to get to it again. And back to Eriksen. Now back across to Norgard. Norgard on the edge of the area. Cross goes in. It's a low cross. It's been brought down by Poulsen. Lays it off on the edge of the area. The effort goalwards is held well by Oblak. Just had to try and take a bit of a sting out of that effort. He's done so on this occasion. It was held up very well on the edge of the area by Yusuf Poulsen. Now Oblak's just checking something with the referee. Of course, the new rule that's in place that should there need to be a discussion with the referee, it can be captains that can do so, and on this occasion both captains are goalkeepers. It's of Kasper Schmeichel and of course Jan Oblak. We'll get things back underway. The referee's just checking that everything is alright with Sesko, as we enter into the final 5 minutes of regular time of the game before any extra time is given. Oblak punts the ball back upfield in the direction of Sparrar, who's gone down under a challenge and wins a free kick inside Denmark's half. A dangerous position. Players moving forward now. Durkasic, Bijol. The confidence is with this Slovenia side. Stood over the ball, ready to take the free kick. It's Sarin. Cross goes in towards the back post. It's been headed away. It's going to be closed down still though by Bijol. Can't quite keep it in play, but Poulsen can. Poulsen tries to take the ball forward. Outside of the foot pass is a weak one, and it's dispossessed, and it's back into the possession of Slovenia. Onto the right hand side now. He's closed down by his player anyway, but manages to find Sparrar just on the edge of the area. On the right hand side, Sparrar goes back again. This time the pass goes to Karniknik. Cross goes in towards the middle. It's headed goalwards and just wide. Slovenia wants a corner. Denmark wants a goal kick. But either way, Verbic's down on the floor. He went up for the header. He's holding onto his shoulder as Norgard goes over to check on him. Not sure what the referee's decision is going to be on the back of this. It looks like there may have been a bit of an elbow in the back of the neck from Norgard. That's got to be a corner actually. It looks like it's come off of the back of Norgard's head. The referee's given a goal kick though. We'll be allowed to get things back underway. Taken short by Kasper Schmeichel. To Andre Christensen on the edge of the area. Pass goes short to Meili. Back to Christensen again. That's about 3 yards to move further forward, but then he's under pressure from Sesko. Across to Vestergaard. Vestergaard onto the left hand side now for Eriksen. Eriksen tries to thread a through ball, but it's blocked out of play by Sellar. It's going to be a throw in now on the left hand side for Denmark. It's going to be taken by Dolberg. Goes back this time to Vestergaard. Cross onto the right hand side for Andersen. His cross over onto the left hand side's got too much pace on it, and it's watched out of play as Slovenia just take the time a bit more now. I think as we enter into this final minute, they seem happy to just wait. Not going to have much of a choice now as Denmark make their final substitution, and that is going to be Thomas Delaney now joining the game. And he's going to be coming on in place of Hjormund, who's also received a yellow card during this game, and we want to avoid any risk of him missing out on the next fixture, which for Slovenia is Serbia on Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. for Denmark take on England at 5 o'clock. Coverage of both those games and all Euro 2024 games can be found here with us on Flash Score. Possession gifted back to Stankovic. His ball forward is headed away. Stankovic gets the ball back though onto the left hand side. He makes the pass. It's with Janza. Janza's ball down the line is headed away by Anderson. Stankovic wins the header again in the middle of the field. Back onto the left hand side, and it's an excellent run by Verbeek. Lays it off onto the edge of the area for Sesko. He is under pressure by multiple players. Finds the pass onto the right hand side. Lines up a shot. Leans back too early, and it's over, and it's going to be a goal kick. I think Karniknik will get a bit of a grin as he turned away and saw that that one had gone as far over as it had. There's 4 minutes of added time has been given at the end of this game. Denmark will feel that they deserve all 3 points after the possession and the chances that they've created. Slovenia will feel that Denmark didn't want the chances and they've all been wasted, so they'll deserve all 3 points for standing so strong defensively. As Bar gets the ball on the right hand side, passes it now to Christian Eriksen inside Slovenia's half. Dolberg plays it across. Dolberg gets it back on the edge of the halfway line. Back to Norgard. To Bar on the right hand side now to Eriksen. Eriksen switches this on to the left hand side in plenty of space, but it has been headed away this time by Karniknik. Equal with the edge of the area on the left hand side. Denmark have a throw in. It's going to be a long throw into the box as well as players start to make the way forward to try and take all 3 points. They're back onto the left hand side. Norgard gets to it first. Passes this to Christian Eriksen. Back to Norgard again. On that left hand side, Norgard's cross goes in. Hoping for a penalty was Poulsen. It's gone all the way through. I think if he'd gone down, he may have got one there, but it looked like he was having his arm pulled back at one point by one of the Slovenian defenders. It was Bijol that went up for the header. It was Durkasic that was holding on slightly, and he feels like maybe he was holding on too much and it hindered his chances. We've now got a goal kick to be taken by Slovenia. It is such an opposite side of the stadium that you can see Denmark deflated, disappointed, feel that they should be taking all 3 points, and if they're to reach their potential and maybe even better the semi-final that they got in the last European Championships, they'll need to take 3 points. On the opposite side of the field is the group of Slovenia fans who will feel elated, ecstatic that they've managed to take a point from a very strong Denmark side that have been dominant throughout the course of this game. It isn't over yet. We still have a minute and a half left of this game, but it's back with another Slovenia goal kick as they seem to just be shutting up shop at the moment and Denmark seem to be throwing everything at it. The game has lost a bit of its momentum. The frustration on Denmark players is visible and clear. Celebration and excitement among the Slovenia supporters that have made the trip to Germany to see their side in this competition. And they might well be able to give Denmark a better run for their money. Weak pass goes back this time and it's put Kasper Schmeichel under some pressure. He's put the ball out of play and it's just been kept in play, in fact, on that left hand side. And now with Stankovic, he tries the through ball but no one's equal to it. But the pass back that was made originally by Vestergaard nearly gifted an opportunity for Slovenia. Quick to get onto it was Sporar, but Kasper Schmeichel had to get out there first and he did. And now it's going to be a goal kick for Kasper Schmeichel. The final 30 seconds of this game. And we're going to see the final 2 changes now to be made by Slovenia. Sporar is going to come off. He's one of those players. The other is Sesko. So both strikers for Slovenia to come off with 30 seconds left of the game. And in their place we are going to see David Brekalo come on and Yasmin Kurtic come on. Final changes made for both sides. We've now had those 4 minutes added time, which means the referee is free to blow his whistle when he's ready. Those 2 changes may have just given Extra bit of time for Slovenia. Michael takes this goal kick. Goes all the way through and it's headed away by Karniknik onto the left hand side. Flicked on this time and it's out of play. And there goes the full time whistle. And Slovenia have taken a point from a very strong Denmark side. They've shown resilience and they've put a lot of effort into it to take a point away from the side that a lot of people had reaching almost a guaranteed spot in the knockout stages, in a tournament where 4 of the best third place teams in each group will make it through to the knockout stages. It adds a lot more excitement to Slovenia against Serbia, but there's still England against Serbia to take place later on this evening with coverage on Flash Score. It is finished in Stuttgart at the MHP Arena. Slovenia 1, Denmark 1.